Good morning and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. This is Bert Bledsoe's baby. He does it Monday through Friday. Well, actually Monday through Thursday because I have the honor of doing it on Fridays. So today we've decided to just have a round table. Anyone that wants to come over, I put the link in the chat. I thought maybe we could sort of any questions that we've got on something, video, social media, marketing of any kind, we could throw it out there and somebody would have the answer because together we are powerful. And I am so grateful for all of you. We have Clive Jeffrey, we have Debbie Deardorff, we have Lynn Mooney, and we have Marielle Finkbeiner. Yay! This morning, and I'm going to start out by asking Clive. Clive, yesterday when you were on with Bert, showing AWS and the Mass Planner, and I asked about putting videos. Did you get the idea that you had to also put those in a spreadsheet if you wanted them to feed? Do you always have to put things in the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I guess it's just like any link, really. Oh, I've got an echo. Um, yeah, so it's basically you just treat the YouTube URL as a link. You can actually set it up so that when you actually publish your YouTube video, it automatically syndicates through Twitter and a few other other social media platforms that are on that YouTube is affiliated to. You can there's all those share buttons at the bottom, so you don't necessarily have to put it into a spreadsheet unless you want to have it so that you can recycle them, so that you can go back and just get all your previously done videos and then put them into a spreadsheet and have them drip fed through the AWS system or Mass Planner system. But obviously, any new videos that you create, you can automatically syndicate through.
Yeah, because your own blog post, you just need to put the RSS feed in there. You don't have to put them in a
And
spreadsheet.
then yes, and then it automatically each time you publish a video, it automatically goes to Twitter as well. I mean, yes, sorry, every time you publish a blog post, it automatically goes through the RSS feed directly through to Twitter. But I actually have my YouTube account set up where it's automatically feeds through. I think it's about 100 different social media sites. So every time I publish it, it automatically syndicates through. It was a service called, I think it's SERPs something, or I can look it up if you guys want to know. But they actually build out this network of blogs for you, and I think it was like $200 to get them to do it. But then as I say, all you do is you publish your video, and it syndicates through this, and basically embeds the video onto these Web 2.0 sites, and that YouTube actually really gives a lot of recognition to that, and as far as them being authority sites, and it really makes you gets your videos out there and gets them seen in a lot of different places, and gives them authority to rank. Does that
Okay.
answer the question?
Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to put everything in a spreadsheet.
It's only if you want to get your old, previously done stuff out there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's only new stuff will get fed out, but if anything that's already that you've already done is not going to get syndicated unless you do something like put it in a spreadsheet and feed it out.
Okay. Good morning, Whitman and Dale. I can't hear you, Whit.
I just
I still can't hear you, Whitman. Dale, I can't hear you either. All right, anybody else have a subject that they want to throw out there?
Yeah, Chris, I have one from Lenny. Len,
Yo,
a question I have, because, I've been following you on your coffee talk in the mornings. My question, I guess, is, for everybody to get it, do you find that having a set time and a set where it's a routine every day that attracts people and they get used to it? Because I was thinking I'm going to start doing the Facebook Live where I'm going to set it up at like 6:45 in the evening, so it's like the news. They know that the weather's going to be on at that time. Is that something, because you've been doing this for a long time, do you get that experience where a lot of people keep following you at the same time and they're used to it and it's a routine that helps you attract people?
that's a really good question, and I don't know the answer because I don't know. From the viewpoint of the people that look at the videos, I don't know if they're sitting there anticipating that it's going to be up at a certain time. Uh, uh, what it does is it gives me the discipline. I'm the one that drives. Like I set my goal to have the video up before 7 o'clock in the morning, my time, some time ago, and I've stuck to that. It's coming up on 2 years now, and I haven't missed a day. There's been a few times that it was late, especially when I was up with Bob, because when we went out to Fiesta Island, that threw an extra a piece of time into the equation. But it's more for my own personal discipline than it is for anything else.
Okay, because what I do is I put you on a Google Calendar so it's blocked.
Perfect.
So that way, I mean, I'm just old school. Instead of using a notebook or a calendar, now I get to put you on Google so I know every, time it's me at 11:30 blocked out.
I have heard people say that works better, Mario, that if you have a set time, that it definitely, they get more regular viewers that way by having a set time. You'll obviously get your random people when you do it at a random times, but for a regular audience, if you have a regular time, it definitely helps. As I say, it's third-party experience here, but I've definitely heard that does work.
Yeah, I'm thinking in the line of, when you want to watch the news. I don't want to watch the news the whole time. I just want to see the weather, which I really watch anyway. But I know it's at 6:50 my time, just before 7 p.m. So I could turn it on. Watch the news. I don't want to watch the news the whole time. I just want to see the weather, which I really watch anyway. But I know it's at 6:50 my time. I'll mute. So I could turn it on. Watch the news. I don't want to watch the news the whole time.
Judy, turn off. Do you have two windows open with you?
Huh?
Do you have
Turn off. Do you have two windows open?
Yeah, I think Junie's got two windows open, the first one, and then click on the link in the chat.
Junie, you probably got two windows open. So close one of them. Mario, this is what I was thinking.
Okay.
Your first 2 or 3 lives, tell them, I'm going to be on here every night at such and such a time. Let them know, and then they'll start anticipating it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys because you have the experience, and that's why I wanted it before I announced it. That's a good idea. Now I will.
Well, I think consistency is always a good idea. To be perfectly honest with you, and Clive, thank you for that input. I've actually never polled. I mean, I've never paid attention to asking anybody. You're the first people that has ever brought it up, and we've talked about it. So I suspect that it's there are people. I know I have people that comment every morning on the videos, so I suspect they're looking for them, knowing they're coming at about the same time. So I've made an effort to be internally consistent. And like I said, though, it's more for me. I mean, I do this. A lot of what I do is selfish. I do it for me.
Well, Well, I mean, you do it, but you also provide that quality information every day to people. So it's not really, you know, organization-wise or for your personal lifestyle, you did it for you. But bottom
Right.
line is, people have the access, whether we go to Debbie's, Chris's, Clive's, anybody, you have the opportunity to say, okay, I missed it today because I'm traveling, so I'm able to look at it, but I know that Len's going to be putting it up.
Yeah.
That's at least for me, I like the assurance that if I can make it, I definitely can. If something happens, life challenges change it from me doing it, I can visit 2 o'clock in the afternoon and know it's there.
Yeah.
But that's me. That's
And when I say I do it for me, I mean I do the consistency. It helps me to. You know, I have a DMO. I've modified it several times over the last couple of years, but I do have this little list of things that I do, and I find that if I don't do that, if I'm not consistent and don't do these things on a regular schedule and regular basis, then they don't get done. It's there's got to be a time for basically a time for everything. It's like the syndication group. I'm working toward getting that at a very consistent time because I find that if I don't do it on a consistent basis at the same time every day, then I forget. I'll get to the end of the day and I'll go, wait a minute, did I do that today or didn't I do that today?
mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
So I got this little routine I go through.
Yeah, it's good to have a routine.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's essential. And maybe some other people can get away without one, but I think every one of us that are in this space that are having any degree of success at all have a routine.
Yep.
I believe that too, and I need to get into more. You see these whiteboards I put up here, these little whiteboards, because I didn't get a big one yet. Starting Sunday, they're going to be filled out, and then I can see them.
Yeah. That's the equivalent of your of yellow sticky notes.
Yeah, because I've got enough of those. I mean,
I ran out of yellow sticky notes several years ago. I don't.
Look at this stuff I'm supposed to go through and write about or make a video about.
There you go.
Enough content to last you for the rest of your life.
There you go.
But that's not counting the notebooks that are here.
All the uncashed checks.
Yep.
Yep.
I like that.
Junie, can you hear us now?
I can hear you clearly, yes.
Cool. Do you have any questions you want to throw out to discuss?
Really, I just need to get in a routine like everyone else. Because I find at the end of the day, I'm doing so many different things and not completing. So I need to get into a routine.
So how do you manage yourself, Judy? Do you have a to-do list, for example?
Yes, I have a to-do list, but sometimes I don't always follow it.
Okay.
Because I'll begin a task, and then something else, I'm distracted with something else, and then I'll leave it uncompleted and go on to the next thing. So I think with me, it's really discipline. I need to discipline myself in that respect.
So I was listening to a Tony Robbins tape this morning, and he was actually, and the reason I asked you that is he was actually talking about that this morning, and there were two things. One is that he starts his day off. He has several things that he does, but one of the things he does is he starts his day off by making a list of 3 absolutely I got to get these things done. That these are really important things. And the other thing is, many of us make a to-do list, if we make a to-do list, we frequently end up with so many to-dos on our to-do list, and it's completely and totally overwhelming. So the thing to do is to look at the to-do list and pick, 80% of the value comes from 20% of your activity. The 80-20 rule applies to everything we do in our life. So you take your to-do list and you look at it and you ask yourself, of these to-dos, which 20% are going to give me the 80% bang? And you asterisk those. And those are the must-dos. Got to do them. Can't go to bed without having them done. And the rest of it doesn't matter. So it's a simple way to prioritize.
Uh-huh.
On that note, let me ask the question because I've experimented both ways. I used to do it in the morning, but then now I've been doing it at night because what I do is then I psychologically, while I'm sleeping, thinking about it, my mind's working on the 3 top things I got to do the next day. Have you guys tried that? And do you get any difference whether you do it at the night before or in the morning? Just throwing out that question.
If no one else wants to jump in, I'll answer it for me. And I've gone both ways. And I find for me it works better in the morning.
Okay.
What I do, I close out my day by looking at the things that I got done that I'm happy with. Not beating myself up for what I didn't do, but making a little list of today was a really good day. I got this, and this done. So I go to bed with that positive thought in mind, and then in the morning I go through okay, what do I want to get done today? What's really important?
Yeah, I think it's a simple thing like if you get in your mind that what you need to get accomplished that day, and that, like what Diane says, it's simple. It's like you've got to meet 10 people, create a piece of content, and follow up with the people from the day before. And if you do that on a consistent basis, you're going to, your success becomes inevitable. So it's just a matter of when you can fit that into your day. And if you've got, like if you're doing it, say full time, for example, I think it really pays to structure yourself almost like your school timetable. So say from 9 till 10, I'm going to be working on my blog post. From 10 till 11, I'm going to be reaching out to people on Facebook, and then and just structure it. And so it's like that having that semi-deadline is going to force you to get your content done within the time that you allocate, and it just becomes freeing, I find. And there's no thinking, well, what should I do now? Because even though you might not have the exact thing that you're going to be doing, it's going to be related to content production in that allotted time space. And once getting yourself into that sort of cycle, it just also becomes a flow, and you feel better because I think a lot of the time people feel overwhelmed because they think I've got to do all this stuff, and it's like that fire hose thing. You're trying to drink out of the fire hose, but when you actually itemize it out and allocate a time slot for it, you go, well, that's not that bad, because you can only do one thing at a time anyway. So if you fit it into those allocated time spots, it becomes psychologically a whole lot easier to keep doing it.
So Clyde, would you say that you recommend that a newbie or somebody coming in focus on the IPAs, the income producing activities, versus, a lot of times I noticed when I first broke into this industry, I was all over the place. Exactly like June said, I'd start to hear, and then look at that interesting blog or post, and I read the article, and then I wrote up something, and then before I knew it, I'd missed what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But now I'm disciplining myself to say, am I doing income producing activities that are going to get me moving forward?
Yeah.
And is that what you would recommend?
Yes, definitely. So that way, in that particular time slot. So a lot of time people, okay, I'm going to go on Facebook, and then you start scrolling, and then realize 45 minutes has gone and you've done nothing. You haven't reached out to anyone. But if in this hour between 9 and 10, I'm going to meet my people, talk to them, and answer any messages from the previous day. Then you go on there, and that's what you focus on. You're not sitting there aimlessly scrolling and going down a rabbit hole, and that helps keeps me focused anyway. And in the same regard, when you've allocated a certain time to get your content done, it's just, again, psychologically, that you've got to get, you give yourself that time deadline, and your brain, I think, clicks in and reacts to that even on a subconscious level. But I know what you're talking to about, Noah St. John and all those kind of guys, with that using the subconscious mind you give it a problem and it'll go and figure out the answers. And that's the difference between affirmations and afformations, where the affirmations is in a question form, and your mind can't help but answer or work on the answer to a question. So it definitely pays, I think, if you do say like on beginning of the week, work out, okay, these are the 5 topics I'm going to be blogging about this week. And then the night before, you think, okay, tomorrow's is going to be about this topic. Your mind, as you say, will subconsciously start putting a few ideas together. So when you come to write in your allocated time spot, you're not thinking, okay, what am I going to write about? And you spend your whole hour, beating yourself up because you can't come up with a topic. And then all of a sudden your hour's gone and you think, oh, my schedule's messed up, I might as well just go to the beach.
Which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
I made a little list for myself a couple months ago, and it's actually helping me. So on Monday, I blog about money. On Tuesday, I blog about, and the honest truth is I don't remember what it is unless I pull up my list and look at it. But I've actually got a little list of topics by day, just like free daily coaching. There's there's Mindset Monday and there's a Tech Tip Tuesday or whatever it is. I did the same thing with blogs, with my blogs, and I can't tell you that I've been 100% consistent, but I can tell you that it has really helped me to make it easier to decide what am I going to write about today. I just look at my little list and I say, oh, today, Wednesday, I'm supposed to write about the MLSP webinar today. I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
That's a good idea. All right, I'll give you one for me. I find it very difficult because English wasn't my first language, so I dislike writing. I mean, I can speak. I've spoken in front of a lot of people obviously as a college professor, and a mortgage banker and that, but I find it difficult to write. Is there any tricks or suggestions you guys do? Because, I mean, what I do is I usually talk about what I want to write, and then I transcribe what I spoke. Is there a better way to break? Because I really got to get in the routine of writing it on a blog, because I'm doing extra work.
I don't know about anybody else, but if I have a subject, when it comes to writing it, you have an idea of what you're going to write, but it takes on a life of its own almost. Things just flow through you as you're writing the blog post, and it somehow comes together.
Yeah, but if he doesn't like to write, then there's a block sitting there that.
I can totally relate to Mario because I hate writing, and I actually I always force myself to do, like if I'm going to do a video, because what I do is all my stuff, if I'm going to do it, I do it around a keyword research, so I know it's going to be found. I don't waste my time just doing a blog post on what comes to my mind. I started out doing that. They say, just produce content, and I was doing that, that's fine. You've got to have 2 strategies. Like if you're doing video for Facebook can be the spur of the moment. You pull up your phone, an idea comes to mind, and you just give a message. But that's in your timeline, and then it gets lost. So that's great for recognition and keeping you in front of your audience and that type of thing. So it has its purpose. But that is a hamster wheel type solution. It's never gonna. There's no leverage in it, because if you do it today, it's fine. But if you don't do it tomorrow, there's nothing there on your timeline. Whereas if you do like YouTube and your blog around keyword research, you're doing it with a strategy that it's basically search engine based, so it's going to give you leverage over time, so that people can always go back and look for it. Whereas stuff that you just do with what comes to mind and put it on, as I say, Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, it's there and then it's gone. So I find, like when I do a whole bunch of keyword research when I'm doing keyword research, then I have a list of keywords. So that's like your list of topics that you're going to write about. So I just pull out my keyword list and say, okay, I just pick one that I feel like talking about that day, but I know it's being searched for. So it's going to be able to be leveraged and found in the future. And I find that is really helpful. But then it is important to do both, though, I think,
Excellent. But Clive, for those who may not know what keyword research, can you just give a quick synopsis for people who might be listening to this later? Because everybody talks about keywords, but they don't. A lot of people I know who I talk to have no clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's basically, if you think from the point of view of yourself and what you would like to know. So if I want to know something about, say, how to set up a Facebook fan page, for example, and I would go in and to do that, what I do, I go to Google or YouTube and I actually type in how to set up a Facebook fan page. that phrase is termed a keyword. How to set up a Facebook fan page it's not just one word, but it's a keyword phrase. So that's the type of thing that we're looking at. That's called a long tail keyword, and you can do research on the Google Keyword Planner. So if you put Google Keyword Planner into your search bar in Google, it'll bring up that tool. And if you'll be asked, if you haven't done it yet, to set up an AdWords account, and you'll have to put in a credit card, but you won't actually get charged anything. And I think nowadays, it's been a while since I've done it, you might even be asked to set up your first campaign. You can go through that and then just pause it or cancel it, and you're not going to get charged. But that way, you'll get access to the keyword tool, and then you can go in and you can literally, whatever you want to talk about, if you might want to put, I don't know, network marketing tips, for example, you can put that phrase into the keyword planner, and it'll bring up all the different phrases that get searched on that term, and then you can write your blog posts around that, because you know people are actually, Google will tell you how many times a month that keyword phrase is being searched, so that way you know that you've got a good chance of being found through time. Another good way to do it is if you're doing, if you just go into your search bar and you put in that phrase again, network marketing tips, for example, you'll see in the drop-down menu, YouTube and Google will actually give you some suggestions, and those are suggestions of phrases that people are actually searching for as well. So you can write a note of all those, and then again make videos or blog posts around those terms. Now you might get phrases which have like different, like a the or an a or an and in the phrase as well. Each of those phrases with those different little words with one letter in them different, it might be an S on the end of a word, that is a different keyword phrase. So you could do a blog post and just change the keyword by just adding that one letter, and it's another piece of completely unique content. So that's essentially what keywords are. Hopefully I've made sense.
Cool.
That's
cool.
helpful. Yeah.
Debbie, do you have any questions?
No, I'm getting some good stuff from you guys.
I've done keyword research training multiple times, and I know I've got a couple videos that go through in detail how to use the keyword planner.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look around. I just looked while you were talking. I was looking out on my YouTube channel, and I don't see it immediately, but I know it's there. And so if anybody wants that, you can let me know, and I'll find it.
Does everybody have access to Lunch with Lynn?
No.
Well,
No.
ask to join Lunch with Lynn group.
It's an open Facebook group. I mean, anybody can join it.
Okay, but why don't you throw the keyword research in there?
Yeah, I'll look for it. I know I have it. I know I've done it. I mean, I've done it several different times. I've done webinars on it, and I know it's out there. I just got to look for it.
I've seen you do it several times. What about you, Whitman? You got any input?
If not, can I come back to Mario's question? So, my suggestion, Mario, I actually like to write, and I sort of do the opposite. I write my blog posts frequently, and then I do the video afterwards. But if you didn't like to write, I would do what you do. I would just do, if you prefer to do video, I would just do the video, and assuming you have the money and you can afford it, you're willing to take the time, there are multiple transcription services where you can just send the video, and a day later you'll get a doc file or whatever you want back with it completely transcribed for you. And it costs, there was one service I was using that costs $1 a minute. So if you do 3-minute videos, it's going to cost you $3 to get it transcribed. I mean, holy shit! If you don't like to write, and you like to talk, do it. And then the other thing, I'll talk about keyword research. I'll give you a hint. I do it the opposite, Clive, and I know it's not the best way, but it's the way I've been doing it for a long time. I decide that there's something I want to talk about, so I write a blog post, I make a video, and then I take the thought and I go into keyword research and I look for a keyword that's relevant to what it is I just wrote about, and then I come back and I just doctor the blog post up a little bit to get that keyword in there. Now, I don't stuff it. I really write it in so that it makes sense.
Mhm.
But I actually do the keyword research after I've written the blog post in many cases.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For me, that works better.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's a lot easier because then you're sort of writing from the heart more rather than trying to keep focusing on the keyword.
Exactly. I find when I do keyword research first, I got this keyword and I'm going, okay, here's my keyword I'm going to write about today. What am I going to say about that? But if it's come from the heart, I've written the blog post, I've made the videos, then I can go and take what my topic was, insert it as a long tail keyword, come up with a couple of ideas, and just massage everything around it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the keyword tool that we have, what the hell is Yoast keyword in blog? Oh my, that's so powerful to help you massage things around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's a good. It's good.
Glenn's blog posts are very good, by the way.
But Mario, yeah, there's a service called Rev.com, rev.com, and that basically will, if you just have to publish your video to YouTube, and it'll go ahead, transcribe it, and then come in and automatically just upload it to. You don't even have to upload it to YouTube; it does it all for you, and it's again $1 a minute. So,
Gotcha.
and then you can then take that copy and spin it, and then create your blog post from that, and just also put your video into your blog post. But it's definitely, you don't want to have the exact same copy on your video description as you do on your blog post.
Yeah, my concern with that was it doesn't bring my, let's say, personality. Like my grandmother. See, the problem was it's just, I blame it on my grandmother. She, forced me, until I was 10 to learn English. So it's more of a chore than it is a fun thing. So I figured I gotta just do it. It's like any other habit. You gotta do it. It's not something you may particularly like, but it's a better way to do it because the more I do it, the better I'm gonna get at it. 90 days from now, as I write.
There's your block right there.
How my grandmother beat it out of me? English?
Well, you just said that you see it more as a chore than pleasure.
Well, I mean, my father was an English major out of Yale. My grandmother was an English teacher. I came into this country speaking Italian at 5, and I learned it at 10. Sister Petunia and all them beat it out of me. I was lefty and righty. So, you know what I mean? So I was the devil for writing lefty, and I was the devil for not being able to speak English. So, I mean, that to me is one of the reasons why it's not a chore I like doing. It's just a chore. It's not pleasurable. There's nothing pleasurable about writing.
But if you look at Ray Higdon's blogs, you will see that most of them now he's doing them from he'll do like that Friday morning, he does that Ask Me a Question, and then he segments each question into a blog post, and they are all just transcribed directly from, so if you read it, it's word for word what he says in the video. There's an introduction and an outro that's different, but everything else is transcribed from using Rev.com, and that's his blog posts. So he he doesn't do any writing as such anymore. It's all just taken off.
I've noticed that looking at it, but the problem I worried about it was you then get so canned.
Well, I don't know what your experience, Clive, is, and there's a question in this comment too. When I was using the transcription services, I would never let them publish it directly. I always had them send me the transcript, and then I'd go through and doctor it up a little bit and clean it up and etc. Is Rev.com good enough that you really feel comfortable letting them publish it directly?
I actually don't use the service, but Mark Harbert and Ray Higdon do, and it's like, you've got to look at those guys and think if it's good enough, it's got to be good enough for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, the key is to get the content out to help people.
Yeah.
Well, another thing though is if you're going to have it published, for example, to YouTube as a description, you still want to doctor it up because you want to put in your links and etc. There's things you want to do. So I would say have them send you the transcript, go through it, doctor it up, make it pretty, put in your links, whatever you do, and then just go ahead and publish it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll do a combination. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the help.
There's
What?
also a service called Article Builder that they write the post for you, and then Well, they've already got them published, and then you go in and doctor those up. So that's another alternative. Whitman, you haven't got to put a word in edgewise. You got anything
Can
to
you
say?
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Good to see y'all. One thing I'd like to add is something that Lynn brought up also as far as having a procedure, because like with the syndication group, I would think about going to the syndication group to do my thing at the last minute at night, and sometimes I would forget, sometimes I'd be up to 2 o'clock in the morning doing it, but 9 times out of 10 I would have a tendency to forget and fall behind. That's how I got kicked out, by the way. And so anyway, like you all were saying, get a procedure, a method of doing things down, and stick with it. Because what I have to go through in the morning times is, one, we got the free daily coaching, and then after that we got MLSP conference call, and then following that, I say, is when you have the time to put it all together and publish it and post it. In other words, that you've gotten out of both the calls that morning, and then the afternoon is where you start taking action, making friends, getting more people on your list, and all the good stuff. That's it.
Good idea, Whitman, because what I do is I'll take the different ones and I do an Instagram, which is 1 minute, so I can get it in my mind before I forget. I quickly throw out an Instagram of the topic, and I say, here are my 2 takeaways from just listening to this conference or whatever, wake up call or whatever. And that way it's done and over with. I don't have to write. I just am able to speak off the top of my cuff, and it's easy. And I've got content out there right away. I just got to learn to put it on blog.
Speaking of the calls that we do in the morning, they are coming soon. We're over now. Let's have some parting words, and we'll call it a wrap. And I've really enjoyed this. And if you guys have, we can do it again whenever. Does that sound good? To keep doing these?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
I want to personally thank everybody for helping me, and it was a pleasure talking with colleagues that were really helpful and interesting topics. You all do when I watch your pages. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me over.
You're welcome, Junie. You're always welcome on my show, girl.
Thank you.
And Dale and Debbie. At least I wasn't outnumbered like I usually am.
All righty, folks. I'm going to go.
All right.
Good day.
Bye for now.
We're going to wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this morning for free daily coaching. Don't forget that Bert will be here on Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific. If you're not already signed up, go to www.freedailycoaching.com. He does have it set up so it's good for a year, until the end of the year. So you only have to sign up once instead of monthly. And I appreciate my panel this morning. I love you guys to death. And we are stopping this broadcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.